It's just a concussion. Oh my god, I've heard this one and it's the worst. Oh, I've had a concussion before and I was okay 3 days later. And I'm sorry, honey. Not all head injuries are the same. You could break your leg one time, be fine, and then someone else breaks their leg and guess what? They need surgery because it's broken in different places. So today I'm going to be talking about my head injury, which some of you know I have, some of you don't. It's been a while. It's continuing to be a while. It's a journey, really. I feel like that's just what it is and how I deal with it. But on our Instagram, Johnny and I's Instagram, True Home North, so go check it out. We're all active on there. It's awesome if you want to see what we're up to. Also, I posted something seeing if you guys had an interest in knowing what the hell happened to me, and we're curious really about my head injury and things related to it, and to just shoot me some questions. And so I did, and I have them on my phone, so I'm gonna read some questions because I guess this is a spot that's I feel really vulnerable about. I was raised by a really independent, strong woman who don't need no one, and she raised me to be a strong, independent woman who don't need no one. So asking for help and being vulnerable and I guess showing weakness for me is difficult. So when I talk about my head injury, know that as much as I look super jokester and funny and I downplay everything because I don't want people to pity me and I don't want to not have a good time, right? If I'm with people, I don't want to look sad. I don't want to look like I need help. I don't want, I want to have a good time and I don't want people to have to carry that. So I downplay a lot of my symptoms and I downplay a lot of how it is to live with a head injury, right? So to kind of get over that hump, I'm going to read those questions because it's a nice icebreaker for me. Okay. How does it affect your day-to-day? It's different every day. And that's the thing that's awful to deal with. Because I wish I would be like, okay, I know what to expect. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I kind of know what to expect. But it's different because silly things like the weather affects how I feel. And it sounds silly, but it's the barometric pressure and how that works. That's why people with arthritis, they're like, it's gonna rain tomorrow. I don't know, I just guess everyone that has arthritis talks with that voice. But that's why. It's because the pressure in the atmosphere is really strong. So that plays a role in the headaches, the migraines, and what happens is I have vestibular migraines, and what that means is that the vestibular system is like in between here, and it helps you balance yourself and where you are in the world. And let's say if you're driving or something, if you have sickness, that's kind of because of your vestibular system. If you want to know how I feel, I have a challenge for you. Go get a glass of water, distilled, potentially, that's mostly better for you. Pour water in your ear, and just one, and block your ear, and then wait about 30 seconds, and you're gonna start spinning. Well, that's how I feel when it's at its worst. So really, my day-to-day changed because of the weather, the time of year, because the weather is different at time of year. So in the spring and in the fall, I'm at my worst for like a couple weeks at a time because of it's the equinox and like the big change in weather, and it took getting through it to know it. And like how it affects my day-to-day is that sometimes I can't drive depending on how bad my symptoms are, right? Like it's basically like being drunk. Like I have my wits about me, but if I'm too dizzy, then I just don't drive, or I end up sitting for a really long time before I feel comfortable doing it. And sometimes it's like when you guys start your daily life, you would have, I don't know, potentially up to 90% of your battery life. Well, I feel like I'm an old phone. I start up with a lot of energy, and then you unplug me and I'm like, boom, 30% with no reason. There's this cool theory, it's called the spoon theory. I guess I'll talk about it some other time, but it really talks about like how many spoons you start your day, and it's basically like a battery level, right? Certain things take certain spoons, and I thought it was kind of interesting concept and helped others kind of understand what I'm going through, really. Sometimes I guess it's the tiredness, it's like fatigue, right? And people, like most people, what they don't understand is that when I say fatigue, they're like, oh yeah, I get tired. But it's a different kind of tired. It's like you can't even have a conversation tired. Everything is draining. You are like a zombie. You just have to sit and do nothing. No talking, no distraction, not even on the phone, because that is also tiring. So things like that. So it's like a whole sphere. And when I have good days, I'm relatively functional, and that's awesome. And when I have bad days, I am really not functional, and that's when I really need a lot of help to kind of get by. All right, let's answer another question. I was gonna say let's ask another question. Yeah, my brain is funny. I'm also French, so it's always a constant like translating in the background, and like so my brain processing power is always at high capacity. How do you feel when you are in large group settings? So this is interesting because it also depends on variety of things, what I did the day before, because I need about a day in between to kind of like let my brain relax. It used to be like 4 days, so it is getting better. It's just a slow pace. It's a wellness journey, as they call it. But like, let's say Costco or something, right? And IKEA, oh, IKEA, I love the IKEA store. It's a trip going there, literally, because I'm so dizzy, and then I have to hold on to things, and I have actually broken my foot because I was too dizzy, and I tripped and I fell and I broke my foot. I never broke anything in my entire life, but lo and behold, I break things now because I don't have as much balance as I used to. Large places, the lights, man, what is wrong with large places and lights? It's like they want you to be able to see the floor. I don't understand why. But like fluorescent lights, terrible. People talking, terrible. I can do like 20 minutes now. It's better than it used to be. I used to not even be able to walk in without earplugs. Now I can like see how it feels. Sometimes like the lights at Costco are dimmed, or like there's only a few working. I'm like, they knew I was coming. They're like, Tyler's coming, let's go, let's dim the lights. No, but really sometimes I wish that like the world wasn't so set up for neurotypicals. I mean that wholly sincerely. My little brother has autism. He's amazing. He's super smart, but he has the same thing, you know. It's helped me understand him so much better. He is sensitive to light, sensitive to noise. He has those like cookie, because I'm trying to think about the word now, I can't think about it. It's like noise canceling headphones. Yeah, that's what he has. And he's always wearing like a cap, like a baseball hat in the summer, because it provides like shade, right, for his eyes. Yeah, so I mean, this whole thing of being injured and getting hit in the head, I'm like, wow, brother, I understand you so much better. I really do. Like, there's like the connection that wasn't there before with my little brother with Asperger, and now there is. I'm just like, I get you, man. That's I understand. And I feel like our society should be better set up for those kinds of things. Like, why does it matter if after 7 p.m. the lights are dimmed in the grocery store, right? It's just, the pandemic has helped in a way, because at first, not wave 2, at first there was less people in grocery stores, and I was like, wow, I think I'm getting better. But really it was because there was less people, and that's a common thing. So I was diagnosed with triple PD, or as John would like me to say, PPPD, and it stands for persistent perceptual, I'm gonna go with positional, but I'm not sure, dizziness. It's a mouthful. I don't even know why they would do that to you. Why would they try and confuse you even more with words of a diagnosis for something like that? I bet you there's people who created that word, they're laughing right now. They're like, yeah, let's make it more complicated. Let's do it. Yeah. What that means is that it includes motion. Casinos, you know how they have like funky carpets? If I look at those carpets, I'm not moving, but the carpet is moving, because it's just the patterns are weird. If I'm watching TV, scenes change really quickly, or there's a lot of bright lights, boom, that's it, I'm dizzy. And if I'm in a place where there's people walking by me, I guess the motion just trips me out completely. It also gets me like swinging really high. Man, it's things like grocery shopping too. That's like it's a challenge, because my eyes are gonna be scanning the aisle for the item that I want, and just that motion, and then there's people coming by, and then you have to be like, oops, sorry, excuse me, oh, sorry, oh, did you want to go there? And now with the lines, and you have to like go around, and just talking about it was like a lot. But you know what I mean? It's just kind of how it is, and that gets me dizzy too. So I guess to kind of answer that question about large groups, I prefer smaller groups. I prefer we go grocery shopping at night now, just because there's less people. I get less dizzy. I can get out, in and out. It's faster, it's easier. The lights, sometimes they're kind and they dim the lights. Have you tried the oil I recommended for your migraines? That's my cousin. She's awesome. She's really sweet. No, I have not. Because I don't remember. I just don't. And that's another thing I deal with, is I forget things. I forget simple things. It's like I was on an autopilot. Someone else was like operating my body. And it's funny because sometimes I say left and I mean right. And I mean, I'm French too. I can't give my concussion and head injury the entire credit, because I mess up things all the time. I feel like the language, English and French, there are areas to mess you up. Like, for example, and all my French people out here, you're gonna laugh. If I say, oh, please let me introduce you to my dog. But if I say, laissez-moi vous introduire à mon chien, it means completely something else, right? If I introduce you, it means I am penetrating you. Anyways, you know what I mean? So there's a lot of like nuance with French and English, and having to constantly think about that. And then forgetting and things, and brain fatigue and fog. It's an interesting day. I try and laugh about it, because what else can I do? But it's not always easy. There are days where I'm down. There are days where I'm just like, I'm done fighting. Like with WSIB and like with different things. So it's not always roses and petals and golden. But for the most part, there's nothing else to do, right? That's my body now. That's me. I just gotta, one day at a time. So let's see what else there is in terms of questions. These are fun questions. What assumptions do people make about your head injury that you wish they'd just stop? There's a lot. I feel like because I don't look sick, because I am funny, because I also downplay my symptoms a lot when I'm in public or when I'm with people, because, I care about what people think about me. And also, I don't want people to have a bad time. I want to alleviate people's pains. I want to have a good time. So if people are worried about me, they're not having a good time, are they? So if it's not going well for me, I'm gonna just go away. I'm gonna retract. I'm gonna try and just be alone and be quiet. And most of the time, I'm not doing anything. I'm just laying there thinking. But I guess an assumption is that I don't care, or I don't want to talk to them, or at least that's what I feel. And like, I've had to bail so many times on plans because I got worse, like symptom wise. I start the day and I'm like, yeah, full battery, let's do this. Let's go for a walk later, making a ton of plans with my friends. Let's go to IKEA, pre-pandemic. I was like, let's do this. I'm down. And then the day comes and something happened, and I'm at the end of the day and I'm like, you know what? I can't do it. I can't do it. I have no energy. I can't even talk. So how am I going to go out and be social with you? So I have to bail a lot. And as a person, I want to be dependable. I have good work ethics in a sense that I want to be reliable. And because of that, I'm not. Yeah, I feel like people judge me and my head injury, and I just wish that it's an assumption that they would stop, is that it's simple too. It's just a concussion. Oh my god, I've heard this one, and it's the worst. Oh, I've had a concussion before, and I was okay 3 days later. And I'm sorry, honey. Not all head injuries are the same. You could break your leg one time, be fine, and then someone else breaks their leg, and guess what? They need surgery because it's broken in different places. And to be frank, I feel like people downplay concussions a lot, because I feel like a lot of people have had concussions in the past. That's just the reality of things. You know, kids bump their head. But yeah, people downplay concussions, and then most of them will have had one in the past and be like, I had a concussion. What is this lady talking about? You know, like she's making all this up, or at least that's how I feel. And yeah, I've had a person in my family specifically downplay my concussion and specifically just make me feel like shit, really. And I mean, that's kind of what I wish people would stop assuming, is that concussions are simple, because you can't even see a concussion. If you've had a concussion through a CAT scan or a CT scan or whatever you want to call it, you can't see it. We are just starting to understand the complexity of the brain and the brain injuries, and in terms like it's starting to make motions and movements for sports, right? Like we hear about it with hockey players, with football players, how just severe concussions and head injuries can change you. And there was a recent study that I read, and I'm gonna try and link it down below because I was mind blown, that apparently children that have suffered from concussions I guess during their childhood were like so much more likely to have symptoms of ADHD or be diagnosed with ADD, ADHD later on in life. So then think about it. Think about it for a second. That's a whole ADHD is like dysfunctional brain, right? I'm speechless. Just gonna take a moment here. But yeah, I'll do my best to link it down below because it is an amazing study, and I feel like, yeah, we just need to I guess we just need to catch up. We need to stop downplaying concussions. Like, you know, the whole oh, if you've had a concussion, you can't go to sleep because you're not gonna wake up. Not true. The reason why you can't go to sleep is because you won't see if you're getting worse. That's as simple as that. And the whole oh, if you have a concussion, you have to stay quiet for a week and be off your phone and be in the dark, and that's also not true. Oh my god. Whew. Doing that just made me super dizzy. I should have thought about it. Okay. Alright. It's not... Yeah, I'm having a hard time. Yeah, concussions, really, you have to continue doing activity level. You have to expose your brain. So, on that note, I will wrap it up. I mean, I'm going to talk so much more about other things. What I'm doing every day, my appointments, where did I go, what did I go through, WSIB. What the hell? Why am I still dealing with them? Or as they would say, why are they still dealing with me? I haven't gone back to work fully yet. It's awful. What's going on? What's my work experience right now? Where do I work right now? All those things, all fun things. And I mean, I love your questions, and it kind of shows me that you guys care and you're curious and intrigued, and it helps me kind of be less vulnerable. So I'm gonna do another one of these with a Q&A thing. So yeah, I mean, if you want to hear more about my dog Kita, super awesome husky, if you want to see us build things, if you want to see us on our new adventure to go off-grid and in a community off-grid, and you know, the whole journey to wellness thing with my concussion and PPPD, like, comment, subscribe. Thanks.